We welcome you to Blues Game Day Live, and we are wearing some pretty cool scarves as well. Joe, you are an unbelievable model because you know what? The first 12,000 fans tonight at Enterprise Center. Check that. The first 11,998 because you and I took one.
It's coming home with
Okay,
me.
we're not telling anybody, but we've got these beautiful toques, we call them in Canada.
Beanie.
So a beanie and some scarves brought to you by the great folks at Ameren right there.
Ameren, beautiful.
Okay? Hopefully we get a lot of
Throw
power.
that on there, yeah. Keep that melon warm. There you go.
Ooh, baby. What do you think about that?
Oh, you look good.
Huh?
You look good. Get to the game tonight. Yeah,
So-
you're going to want one of these.
So the first 12,000 fans will get these. Come on early. Make sure you come down to the beer garden. Have a couple of cold ones.
Yep.
Get ready for the game. The Florida Panthers are in town. The Florida Panthers lost their last game against the New York Rangers. We know that the St. Louis Blues, coming off an unbelievable win in Winnipeg, 1-0 behind Jake Allen's great performance and the PK going 6 for 6. Joe Vitale, the last game was just absolutely not good enough.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those Control-Alt-Delete in the old computer.
That's right.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that
nowadays,
sucker.
it's just the swipe and the delete red button. You pop on that. That's what we're going to do. Super under the rug. Performance, the Blues, coming into the building after a great win in Winnipeg. Something the Blues have struggled with is backing that win up with another win, and the Blues came in last game. From the very get-go, that 4-minute power play, the execution was just a little slow, a little behind, timing off a little bit. From there, the Vancouver Canucks really just took over, but a good reset and a good test here tonight.
Okay, there is an issue that we got to talk about.
Let's talk about it.
It was all over social media. Everybody knows about it by now. You've been on the ice when things aren't going well. I've been on the ice when I've seen the same thing happen. A lot of people asking that question: how do two teammates scrap in practice? And I think it's important for us to let people know we were right behind there. It's a 3-on-3 drill. It's not some battle drill where you know something's going to happen, but it's a good hard 3-on-3 drill, and they were going at it pretty good. A cross check, a slash, a whack, a hack, and here we go. I mean, it's something that you do see. Is this something that can maybe cleanse the inner sourness of what's going on?
Yeah, I think it could certainly.
Is that a word, inner sourness?
Inner sourness, maybe.
Okay.
We're going to go with. I'm going to use it tonight on the broadcast. But no, I think this is something that really could catapult the team and be the catalyst moving forward. To touch on the situation, because Panger and I have gotten a lot of comments about it. You see, unfortunately, because it's on Instagram and Twitter, this is the day we're living in now, where you can't just do this stuff in practice and it stays at practice. So, had a chance to message Robert a little bit this morning about the situation. He feels very sour about it and disappointed by what happened, but this is an emotional game. Very emotional game. It's an emotional player between Zach and Robert. The care factor is just beyond the roof with these two kids, and I had the pleasure of playing with Robert in the minors and in Pittsburgh. And I remember our first year, I get run from behind. There's a line brawl, and who grabs Trevor Gillies? It was Robert Bortuzzo, the young 19-year-old boy, just getting manhandled by one of the most toughest guys probably in the league at the time. I remember in the locker room after we're all bandaged up, he's got ice on his face. He's an absolute mess, but Robert Bortuzzo, without a doubt, is one of the most loyal teammates I've ever had a pleasure of playing with, and Zach Sanford knows that. Every one of these Blues players know that as well. Whenever someone gets cheap-shotted, Robert is one of the first guys over the boards trying to drag someone into a fight. A great teammate, and I think it's something that it's an emotional game. Sometimes you need to get popped in the nose. Sometimes you need to give a pop. And sometimes it could be a cleansing thing moving forward. What do you think?
Yeah, and I agree with you there. And I think it's a great team sport, and things obviously haven't gone the way these players have expected it or wanted it to go. Got a lot of new players, and they're probably looking around every other day going, what's going on? How can we make this better? They make it better by playing a great game in Colorado or a great game, obviously, in Winnipeg. They obviously have to find something inside that room, first and foremost. It's obviously a coach can only say so much. The players themselves have to find the way to do the right thing at any given time in a game. And I think, especially on home ice, not that it's different on the road, but these are hardworking fans here in St. Louis. You don't want to lose them either. If the players are wondering where the energy's not coming from, well, it's not coming from at home because they're not giving the fans enough reason to have the energy. So tonight's another night. There's a lot of good players on the Florida Panthers. You obviously you mentioned Zach and you mentioned Robert Bortuzzo. Listen, I think these players are going to find something inside that locker room prior to this game that hopefully raises the level of play here in the building. It doesn't mean they have to fight somebody right off the hop. They have to play hard for one another first and foremost. And when they do that, the crowd will get going. There'll be a crescendo of excitement. The players can feed off it. But if you're not giving her every single shift, then they're not going to give her as well out here. So, but good news is they're going to have these here.
They're going to be warm tonight.
And they're going to have scarves.
They're going to be warm.
And they're going to look sharp.
Yeah, and they're possibly fighting Luongo, who I even scored a goal on him.
Oh, whoa.
It was a preseason game. I was trying to go shelf. I was trying to go bar down, and it stuck to the ice.
You fanned on it.
I fanned and went between his legs.
That's a tricky play.
But my point
more guys should do that.
My point is, if I can score, I think the Blues can put up 5 or 6 tonight.
Wow.
Although he's a Hall of Famer.
Will we get Krispy Kreme donuts for that?
You get 4. Yeah, 4 goals, and we'll get some Krispy Kremes. A Florida Panthers team, like you just mentioned.
Okay. I got
great
lines
first
here.
line.
Yeah.
Barkov, Huberdeau, Hoffman.
Hoffman's a shooter.
Yep. Barkov is out there for I want to say over 50% of all the Florida Panthers' goals this year. He's a guy you want to mark. The Blues had a little bit of trouble with Pettersson a couple nights ago as keying in on him. Can they improve that here? Whether Joel Edmondson's in the lineup or not, we'll see tonight.
Joel Edmondson and Jake Virtanen, they really bumped a couple of times in that last game, and we noticed that there was a little difference in how he played the rest of the way. And yesterday he wasn't on the ice. It's only an optional skate here, and in case you're wondering, yes, Zach Sanford and Robert Bortuzzo, they are on the ice right here, but it is an optional skate. In fact, Jake Allen's not on the ice. Jordan Binnington is, in case you missed that news. Feel terrible for Chad Johnson. I mean, put in a really rough spot. I would think that these players feel terrible for what has happened to him because it's because of the play in front. And obviously the goaltenders always think that they can do better. But in a short, amount of time, there he is on waivers.
Right.
And Jordan Binnington is up right now. So that's tough for the players.
Sure. I mean, it's really tough, especially for a backup goalie, and you've been a goalie.
Coming in
it's hard. How do you come off the bench? He's come in relief a lot.
Yeah.
He's cold. He's not expecting to play in the game.
Early in the game.
I mean, Jake Allen, as well as he's been playing, you're facing the Vancouver Canucks. You're on the bench. If I'm a backup goalie, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking Jake's been playing so well. We're playing a Canucks team that's struggling. I might have a night off here to keep watching and keep learning something, but he has to go in relief. He's had to come in relief a lot this year, and 3.55 goals against is not going to cut it in this league. But a good goalie, a great human being. I know a lot of players
very
do feel
good
for him.
And it's always hard to determine. Whenever you're looking at numbers, don't be fooled by numbers. If a goaltender plays 18 minutes and gives up 3, that goals against average is obviously very ballooned and the save percentage is down. I mean, there's a good chance that goalie is able to keep it to 3 and the rest of the way, and his goals against average stays at 3. But anyway, the Blues decide to go in a different direction for now. And Jordan Binnington, who's paid his dues in the minors, an all-star last year in the American Hockey League, on loan with Providence in Chicago. I thought in training camp last year, Jordan was very, very good under the radar because Ville Husso is getting a lot of the up-and-coming talk. Jordan this year comes to training camp once again. I thought he was excellent in training camp again. He's showing resolve that you would expect from a guy that's been in the minors for 5 years. Corey Crawford of the Chicago Blackhawks, 5 years in the minors. Jake Allen, 4 years in the minors. Ben Bishop, 4 years in the minors. It's almost the proper amount of time to be prepared for the NHL. So, although it doesn't look like he's the starter for tonight's game, anyway, Jordan Binnington is here in the lineup. Let's move forward a little bit here, Big Joe.
Let's do it, buddy. Keep moving in a good direction.
Jaden Schwartz.
We see him out here.
Return for Jaden Schwartz. In the practice yesterday, let's go through the lines here because we write them down because we're professionals.
Well, you're always there.
That's what we're professionals. And we saw Schwartzy with Braden Shen and David Perron, who was a healthy scratch in the last game. Looks like he will be returning to the lineup. And Steen, O'Reilly, and Tarasenko. There's your top 6. Pretty solid. Patrick Maroon, Bozak, and we're not sure if it's going to be Robert the Thomas
Tank engine,
or it's going to be Jordan Kyrou, who scored his first NHL goal in the last game. Now, before people assume that because of that fight in the battle, I would put this out there. Yesterday on the fourth line, both Sanford and Jordan Nolan were on the left wing. And with Barbashev and Sundqvist, and as we were watching practice, we were thinking that maybe Sanford wasn't going to play.
Right.
And so we don't know for sure just yet. But so in case they're assuming it was because of the scrap, I think that was maybe determined that
he was the extra
guy yesterday anyway. So those are the lineups, bud.
I love that first line. I think you put Tarasenko, your greatest goal scorer, put him up there with O'Reilly. I think Craig Berube's at the point now where he threw some young guys with O'Reilly last game. It didn't really pan out, whether nerves or just some sort of groove wasn't clicking.
Yeah.
Throw the best players up there. You got Tarasenko with O'Reilly. Those are your 1-2 punch. And then you get Alexander Steen up there, who, to me, Alexander Steen is playing like he played 5-6 years ago. He's up and running. He's working. He's scoring goals. He's killing penalties. For me, those are your best 3 forwards. Put them on that first line. Let them go to work.
He was very lucky in the last game. That double minor that was really disappointing for everybody, and a real big turn of events, momentum-wise, lack of momentum with a 4-minute power play. It was because He took it right on the nose. I mean, he
big
was
old nose.
He was lucky.
It's hard to miss that
but
nose,
but
though.
he was lucky that
Yeah.
didn't come right up there because there could be a crack in that big nose for old Steiner, but
nose
he was
saved, though.
lucky anyway. So so that's what we're looking at right there on the blue line. If Edmondson, who's not on the ice, if he is a no-go, which he's a gamer, he's always a go-go.
If he
but
can go, he will go.
but anyway, we had done with Parayko, and we still have Bouwmeester with Bortuzzo, and then, as you said, Schmaltz would slide in there if not. Quick comment about
I think Barkley's hair's crept up here.
Barkley the puppy dog. Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Didn't come off my head, I'll tell you that right now. Maybe that do you got going on, that salad of yours.
Oh, come on.
Come on. I lost my train of thought for a second there. Where was I going to?
We can just close it out if you want to.
I'm seriously, I lost
a
my...
good
Oh,
thought.
I know what I was thinking about. The comments by Chris Butler.
Oh, yes.
After the practice. I
Yes.
thought he was very... we know he's got a lot of hockey sense about him, and I like when he speaks about hockey. I mean, he's been in the minors. He's seen the transition of that phase. He's been in the NHL for 400 games will be tonight, by the way.
400.
So congratulations to Butsy. And but I like when he tries when he does analyze what's going on. He's got a good sense.
He does. He does. For me, he's a player that doesn't have much to lose at this point in his career. He knows. He'll be the first to tell you, his career, he doesn't know how many more years he has left. He's been in this organization a long time, a trusted leader down low, a very dependable 5th, 6th defenseman up top. And you're right. I think what I loved about the interview yesterday is his ability to articulate what every player is feeling. And that's something that hockey players, we're all a little loopy at times. We can't. It's hard to put the words into what we're feeling, right? I mean, I don't know how I got this job, but Butsy's so good at it, and I think every player feels what he felt, and he's the one that said it. And kudos to him. I think it was well said and well done.
I totally agree with you. Are you ready for the game tonight?
Let's do it, buddy. I'm ready.
Big boy.
Let's get this train.
6:30 on KMOX.
Be 6:30 on KMOX, and how about you on Fox Sports
It is
Midwest?
6:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. Of course, Bernie and Scott have the pregame show. And the great John Kelly, the Emmy Award-winning John Kelly, has got the play-by-play. We'll begin that call at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Midwest. Don't miss out. Get there early. Get the scarf. Get the toque or the beanie because it's really, really sharp. And it's I love it that it's these colors too, big fella.
I'm bringing it home with me.
It's another gift for your honey.
Another gift.
Huh?
Under the Christmas tree this year.
One-click Joe, we call him. All right, big guy. Listen, for Joe Vitale, I'm Darren Robert Pang. Have a great day, everybody. It's the Florida Panthers and the St. Louis Blues, and it is tonight at 7 o'clock.